Hi, welcome to the Vaguely Anime Podcast. I am one of the hosts this afternoon, Michael, followed by other host, Sage.
Hi.
Nailed it. I am the greatest of all time. Welcome to this week. Whatever week it is for you, just welcome to this week. It's Monday. It's the start of the week for you. Welcome to the week. We all know the week doesn't start till this comes out.
Yeah, at 12 p.m.
Yeah. That's when the week starts.
Yeah.
There's no Sunday, Monday bullshit. It's Monday, 12 p.m. That's how this works. And like we said last week, because Kat's not here and we called it, we're talking Fast and Furious.
Woo!
Which I have now finished a while ago now, as of when this actually comes out. I've been on 3 different franchises since that happened.
Fun.
But we are now talking Fast and Furious. Also, for context, finished 4 franchises since then.
So proud of you.
For people that are curious, Expendables, Die Hard, Rambo, and I'm about to finish Terminator. I have 1 movie left on that. Anyway, Fast and Furious. How do we want to talk about these?
Okay, I think the best way to talk about them, we could do 1 through 3 in terms of grounded.
Okay.
4 to 7 heading into ridiculous territory.
Mm-hmm.
And then 8 through 10 plus Hobbs and Shaw into the stratosphere of stupidity.
Okay.
I feel like that's a fair, quantification of where these movies land.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
So I guess starting with 1.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of like it's hard to hate 1.
That came out in 2000, yeah?
2001.
Oh, 2001, okay.
That's a pre 9/11 movie.
Oh, wow.
Pre the world sucks.
Yeah.
And boy, you could see the joy in everyone's faces.
You could see the light in their eyes.
And so all right, so then that movie's it is like the quintessential 2000s.
I agree. It's like the quintessential 2000s action flick. Do you know what I mean? Very small scale.
Mm-hmm.
Very boots on the ground kind of feel.
It uses every 2000s camera move and editing trick
under
does. The fucking sun.
It sure does.
It doesn't leave one on the ground.
Yeah.
It uses every single one. You'll watch that movie and be like, oh, this is definitely a 2000s movie without even having to look.
It's like, you know that trend of 2000s editing where everything was very headache inducing?
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, it's like the quick space cuts.
The cuts being so fast and everything is just constantly on a rotation. You're like, I feel car sick.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they were going for because it's so car centric.
You nailed it.
They want you to feel the experience of the ride.
Yeah, and you could also tell it's so early 2000s because the amount of ramps that they just leave in the shot. They don't even try to hide the ramps that are there. Anytime there's a car in the air from something, you could see the ramp in the behind them where it jumped off of.
Yeah.
And also, my biggest memory of that movie is just Paul Walker's eyes being so ungodly blue.
So blue.
They went into that movie and upped his fucking hue of eye color so much.
But I feel like his eyes are very blue anyway.
Yes, but immediately in the second movie, they're nowhere near as blue.
But also, I think the second movie is weird because the first movie I feel like is extremely high contrast.
It is very vibrant.
And then the second movie, I don't know if maybe just in comparison it feels like there's no contrast at all or it's just normal and the first movie is so high contrast that it looks dull. You know what I mean?
That might be right. Maybe, yeah, because the first movie is just
very,
high contrast.
Very Michael Bay look, the
Yeah.
first movie. And then the second movie comes back down to earth in terms of regular color scheme.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I think that the first movie is fine with all the characters and everything. It's just it's generic 2000s. There's not much to delve into with the story. It just has a wild amount of escalations.
It's so crazy how the first movie is what kicked off the franchise,
right?
Because it doesn't seem like such a awesome action movie.
Especially then when the 2 came out and nobody liked it.
But you know what I mean? Because so you have 1, which I think isn't bad by any means, but it's just kind of like middle
Fine.
of the road.
Yeah.
2, which is extremely goofy
Sure is.
in terms of just like the plot and writing, not in the presentation.
No.
And then 3 were almost completely detached from what would later become the like more normal Fast and Furious like universe of characters.
Yeah.
Because do we see Dom at all in 3 or no?
At the very end.
Okay, that's what I didn't know if I was misremembering that, because I know they show
He
that
shows up in a cameo.
that interaction or something similar to it in a later movie.
Yeah, they show it again.
Yeah, so I didn't know if that was only in, I believe, 7, or if that was real in 3 as well.
Yeah, no. In 3, he shows up at the very end because he wants to race the new DK.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then in 7 or 8, whichever it is, they reveal that he won, that Dom won, which I call bullshit. I mean, it's fucking American Muscle. Sure, American Muscle can drift. I don't think you're beating that race in a fuck.
Yeah.
Dom winning that race feels like bullshit to me.
But also, I feel like especially because it would be 7 or 8, which I'm trying to think, because I know in 7 is when we get the tie-in for Shaw and Han. That car crash.
8.
No, I'm pretty sure that's the end of 7.
Fucking God.
I'm like
literally
very
watched these
confident.
so little, like a long time ago.
Maybe it was 8, but I'm pretty sure it was 7 that we see that, because it was
6
supposed to be
okay,
like
no. So the end of 6 is showing the death of Han.
Oh,
Because
in the car
7
crash in
7 is
Tokyo.
Deckard Shaw seeks revenge.
Oh, okay.
So
At the end of 6.
yeah, and then 7 is Han's dead.
Yeah.
So, and I think yeah, Lucas shows up in 7 because that's when Vin Diesel goes to Tokyo to find out what happened
To Han.
Yeah, and that's when you get the end where you learn that he beat.
Yes.
Where he beat Lucas.
Maybe that's why he looks so old, because technically
Sean.
3 is in between.
So no. Okay,
In
so
the timeline, wouldn't it be in between?
No. So 3, the timeline for these movies is so stupid because Tokyo Drift comes out in 2006.
IRL.
And, yeah, in real life, and it takes place in 2006. But then they were like, we really like Han.
Yeah.
So we need to change the timeline. So 4, 5, 6, 7, or 4, 5, and 6, and then part of 7 all take place before Tokyo Drift, and they move the 2006 movie with the 2006 flip phones and technology to 2013 for no reason.
That's actually so funny. I wasn't even thinking about the implications
Sorry, correction,
of
2015.
I wasn't even thinking about the implications of like, because when they're filming these movies, because this isn't like a otherworld kind of setting that they have like real life technology and stuff.
Nope. So for some reason
They revert back from the iPhone to a flip phone.
For some reason, 2015 Tokyo, Japan uses flip phones
because they're trendy.
in the Fast and Furious universe. No, but regular ones. Shitty ones. With shitty cameras that they show off so much, and they're like, look at this cool new tech.
Oh my god, I know.
And you're like, and so
Whoa,
for some,
that thing is so awesome.
for some
I can
reason-
take video.
20 in the Fast and Furious universe, Japan, or at the very least Tokyo, Japan, is 10 years behind in technology.
Which is really ironic when you think about it.
Sure is. And it makes no sense.
That's so funny.
But yeah, so 7 is when you find out that, and I don't think he would beat Sean in that race, gonna be honest. But also, Vin Diesel beats Vin Diesel only ever beats Paul once.
He beats him at the train?
At the no, the very first time.
Yeah, when they're going.
No, because Paul wins the train race.
Oh, you're right.
He wins every race that Vin Diesel doesn't cheat in. Because whatever movie it is where they have to work together for the first time again, even though they hate each other.
Would that be 4 then?
4 or
because we
5.
haven't seen Vin Diesel. No, I think it would be 4 because
Yeah, it's
4 is
4.
when Letty comes back.
Yeah, it is 4.
Or dies or something.
Yeah, because it's 4 because he pit maneuvers him and wins.
Yeah.
But he never actually beats Paul except for that first race.
Huh. But outside of Paul, do we see Vin Diesel lose to anybody else?
Nope.
Does he lose to Jason Momoa in 10? Because wasn't there
technically
there was like beef during their street race?
Technically, but he blew up a person's car,
That's
so
true.
he kind of stopped racing.
I guess that's fair.
And then he's like, and then they go, and then Jason Momoa like wins, and he's like, "Whoa, I won!" And he's like, and meanwhile, Vin Diesel stopped his car and is holding a dead body, and he's like,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
yeah. So
Yeah.
technically,
he doesn't win.
yeah. But yeah, he never loses except to Paul.
That's fair.
And anyway, so Too Fast, Too Furious. Pretty fucking terrible. The worst movie out of all of them. If I'm gonna be
I don't know.
honest.
I really like Luda and what's her name? Steve Aoki's Devin Aoki. I was like, I know her name. She was the Asian girl.
Oh, not the hot lady. Well, I mean, like the token hot lady.
Not Eva Mendes.
Yeah.
The one that was racing and she had the pink car
Right.
and the pink pants. Really cute.
The all pink.
Yeah. Adorable.
Uh-huh.
But
The
yeah.
only one that finishes that race.
But yeah, I really liked their dynamic in that movie.
Right.
But I don't like. It's so funny because I actually liked them more than following Brian and Tyrese.
It's just like, but the that whole movie is just bad. Like the story's bad.
Oh, it's all over the place.
The editing is terrible. The amount of CGI in the car races is fucking god awful.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Um,
I also have like I remember watching it and I was like, I don't understand what the like main villain intends. Like his evil plan seems kind of stupid.
yeah. No, I agree. And I think is it 5 when Letty comes back? Fuck, hold on.
5 when Letty comes
yes,
back.
it is. Or
Yeah.
4, sorry. 4 is when Letty comes back.
And 4 is when Letty's part of like some other crew, right?
Yeah, because she has lost her memory.
Yeah.
And like in that movie, there's a bunch of times where they're doing the race, but then they keep cutting to a CGI GPS view of the race, and I'm like, I don't want to see this. I want to see the people racing. Like, why you keep cutting to this fucking goddamn grid system look of a city?
Yeah.
Where I'm like, instead of the actual cars, which is why my hot take is that Tokyo Drift is the best Fast and Furious movie, because it is the best of the grounded movies, because it has the most real shit happening in it.
Yeah.
And thus it wins because I like the grounded aspect of it more, and I think it's the best of the grounded. So whichever one was the best of the grounded movies was going to be my number one.
That's fair.
And it just happens to be Tokyo Drift, even though there was a lot about Tokyo Drift that is terrible.
My favorite one is definitely the Vault Heist movie.
I believe that is 5.
That one has always been my favorite, followed closely by 6.
That is 5 because that's the first one with Hobbs, right?
The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That is 5.
Yeah, I love that one. That one is so fun.
I did quite like it. I mean, it's my highest rating for all these movies is 3.5 stars. It is my last in the 3.5. It's my number. It's my 5th
Yeah.
movie.
I just think 5 is like the peak of the dumb fun, but not so stupid that like I can't comprehend it.
I think 6 gets it there for me though because of, I'm gonna be honest, it's mostly Han. Mostly because of Han. Han is fucking great. I love him so much. Sadly, it does bring in fucking Wonder Woman.
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot? Gal Gadot?
Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot.
I thought it
Gal
was Gal
Gadot.
Gadot.
I think it is Gadot.
Gal Gadot, which is then in like 2 more movies, and she still can't act.
And she
in
just
any of
fucks
them.
off.
Well, she dies
Yeah, she fucks off.
until she doesn't die, because she doesn't. Turns out she was alive.
Oh yes, which is stupid.
No, well, okay, so
Girl fell off a whole ass plane.
but she fell off at a less extreme height, where where Deckard's brother, the other Shaw,
Yeah.
falls off at a more extreme height and lives.
I guess.
So, like, if he can live falling like a lot of
She
feet,
had less padding
No, but because she's skinny.
because she's so slim.
But like,
At least Shaw, he's got a little beef to him, you know.
I feel like
protect himself.
Yeah, but I feel like with the way she falls off, I'm like, if he lived, she definitely lived. Which I mean, then she did, so it worked out.
So it's fine.
But I do think the best parts of those movies are their like really well built relationship.
Yeah.
I like it genuinely is a solid build to the relationship, even if she is a brick wall to him.
Yeah.
But he carries it, so it's fine. Because
I just think I think whoever plays Han, he's just like a very naturally charismatic person.
yeah,
You know, he just kind of oozes like this chill, cool vibe to him. Does that make sense?
yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Because you know what it is? I
name.
feel like he's the only one that doesn't feel like he's trying too hard. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what you mean. I'm trying to find his fucking actor.
Oh, his name.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, here it is. Sung Kang.
Sure.
Anyway. So. Yeah. First 3. In my opinion, best is Tokyo Drift, then 1, then 2.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
Although, I would agree Tokyo Drift is the best purely based off of presentation. But in terms of like a story and characters, I would have to do 1, then 3, then 2.
There's a lot wrong with Tokyo Drift. Like, his dad doesn't need to exist as a character.
Not at all.
He doesn't need to be in school
No.
at all.
No.
It actually adds nothing to the story at all. The kid with the fucking Hulk car also doesn't really matter all
No,
that
not at all.
much. And Lucas Black is a odd actor to pick
I agree.
for Sean.
I agree.
But there's a lot of dumb shit, but it's funny.
It's funny because I actually like his character more in 9
When
is
he
when
goes-
they go to space.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I like him more in 9.
Where he's like a rocket scientist.
Yeah, as this like hick rocket
Mechanic.
scientist
Yeah.
/ mechanic. And they're just like trying their best.
Do you think he's still with that girl?
I doubt it. The like hot like main villain side like
Yeah.
arm candy girl.
Well, you don't think she wants to be with the rocket scientist?
I don't think so.
We don't know. I
I
like to
mean,
think they had a happy ever after.
You're right, but also in the context of the movie, they're only 17.
Yeah.
So in Fast 9, wouldn't they be their IRL ages at that point?
Fast 9's in 2021, and if that movie was in 2015, then technically they are only
6 years older, technically.
Yeah.
I feel like probably not.
I like to think otherwise. I like to think that they
You're
are
very
still happily
You're very optimistic.
married and or dating.
I doubt it.
What, you think she's too hot for him?
No, I just feel like once he's like, so I'm going to become a rocket scientist / mechanic, but not for a company. Just here out of this warehouse with my buddies. And like I feel like she'd be like, no.
But he's DK.
He's
He's the Drift King.
But does he? I feel like by the time we get to Fast 9, he's not even driving cars anymore. He's just full-time rocket scientist.
Yeah, because he grew up.
Well, yeah, but I
And
feel
that's
like
what she wants.
she wants.
She wanted him to grow up, and he became a rocket scientist.
Oh my goodness gracious!
He's doing it for her, Sage.
She's
He's
like, I
growing
want.
up for her.
She's like, I want you to send me to space, but in a car.
No, she was like, you can't keep drifting away from your problems, Sean.
Oh my god!
You got to grow up at some point. And he's like, fine, I'll become a rocket scientist.
Not a rocket scientist. I feel like that's not how that happened.
I choose to believe otherwise.
Okay.
Anyway, so then what did you say? 5 through
So
8
then,
or
so
5
then
through
we
7?
move 4 through 7.
4 through 7. I think 4 is the worst out of
That collection.
yes,
I
out
agree.
of that collection.
I agree.
I don't really care about what a lot of the things that are happening, but I do think some of the stunts are pretty all right. A lot of them are insane.
Yeah.
Like fucking Vin Diesel crashing his car to fly through the window to
To
catch
catch
Letty,
her
to then
into
land
another
on the-
car.
yeah, into
Yes.
across the
Wait,
bridge.
That was yeah, over the bridge.
Yeah. Insane.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that like you fucking brought in the soap opera trope of came back but with no memory.
Yeah.
But now nobody stays dead.
No.
Because then Han was alive.
Han was alive, and
Also, I love how when they show how Han lived, they don't actually show it. They don't actually explain anything.
no.
They show him in the car. They show the car on fire. Shaw walks past him like he does in 7. But then when he walks past, Han's just no longer in the car. And now he's standing behind Mr. Nobody and the car explodes. And you're like, that didn't tell me at all how
Yeah,
you got
you got
out of
the
that.
fuck out of there. You didn't see it happen?
They literally went, we don't actually know how to
He's
get
just
him out of
alive
here,
now,
so,
okay?
Yeah. They're like, we don't know how to actually write him out of this without anyone, like... So,
Because you know what it is? Because the crash that they set up is just too far-fetched to walk back in a reasonable way.
well, because, like,
It's
there's
a-
no way that Deckard would not see him die. Because that's not how, like, Deckard would make sure he's dead.
He would definitely check.
Right. And so, like, the fact that he throws the bomb and walks
confident
away.
Walk away? No, this man is on a mission, all right?
But, like, even if he walked away, between the explosion and him and, like, the toss and the walk away and the explosion, there was definitely no time in that amount of area to get out of that car and get away from the explosion without any of them noticing, Sean or Deckard.
Yeah.
So, like, they don't explain that well at all.
But I think they do that with whatever retcon-y bullshit that they want to do anyway. Like when the random like policewoman from Brazil is pregnant with
So
Dom's
hot.
baby.
So hot.
You know what I mean?
I mean, that's not a retcon. They banged.
I mean
They were together for a while.
but didn't they bang in
They banged in
'Cause the-
4. No, 5.
Okay, but if they bang in 5, Dom doesn't get that baby until 8.
Yeah.
So she's just pregnant that whole time?
No, because they stopped seeing each other.
When
That kid is not like an infant.
the kid is pretty small.
The kid's like-
because there's that whole scene with Jason Statham, and the kid is in a baby carrier.
Yeah,
with the
but-
earmuffs. The kid is only like at most 1 year old.
Yeah, but remember the timeline's weird.
So, if 2006, right, in terms of the
Is in
timeline here,
2015.
is in 2015, what would be, I guess, the year for 8?
8 is, well, it came out in 2017. Hold on, let me pull up a thing.
Because then I would say, like, would that mean 8 is 2008? Does that make sense, what I mean?
Yeah, hold on. I'm figuring it out.
We got to work out the Fast and Furious timeline because it's very confusing and hard to piece together.
But also, that lady's so hot.
Yeah, she is.
As much as I love Michelle Rodriguez, I think I'd pick the cop.
Yeah.
I think I would.
I don't know. I kind of want Michelle Rodriguez to like snap me in half.
I mean, same, but that cop could also snap me in half.
But not in the same way, okay? Like, I feel like Michelle, she would do it with conviction and meaning. You know?
Right.
Whereas I feel like the cop lady, she would feel bad afterwards. And I don't want her to feel bad.
She would do it, but she'd feel bad afterwards.
You know? I feel like she's that kind of character. She's a very upstanding woman, okay?
I think I'm okay with that.
Okay, what does the timeline say?
I'm looking. I'm looking vamp for a bit.
Okay. So
2014, Sean wins the race in Tokyo Drift to become the Drift King. That's what happens. So 2014 is when all of Tokyo Drift happens.
Okay. So it doesn't go... So if anything, instead of it being set in at least that portion where he wins, being in 2006 when the movie came out, that gets moved forward to 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So then, would you say that 7, which came out in 2015, would be...
7 begins in 2014.
Okay.
Because
right.
he goes to wherever. So that happens then. Hana's buried.
So then...
Ramsey is rescued by the crew. Dominic's crew travel to Abu Dhabi, blah, blah, blah. God's Eye, blah, blah, blah. Deckard Shaw is arrested. Amnesiac Letty recovers her memories. Brian and Mia retire from the crew for their son. Events of 2017, events of Fate of the Furious begin.
In 2017.
Yes.
So then when would movie 5 or 6? It would be 6 that they would have been together. Because 5 is when they first meet, Dom and the cop lady.
Mm-hmm.
And then Letty is still not in the picture totally. And then I think, if I remember correctly, 6 opens up with Dom and her living together in Rio. And then he gets called upon to do a mission. And she's like, you have to go and be with your family. Familia. Blah. So whenever 6 is in the timeline would be when she would be conceiving that baby. Because it can't be in 7, and it definitely can't be in 8. You know what I mean? I'm glad we broke that down. I think this is the most thought ever put into Fast and Furious. I'm not going to lie. In terms of the logistics of these movies. While you look that up, what are your opinions on The Rock in these movies?
It's the most The Rock has ever rocked.
I would agree, especially when... Is it in 6 when he's like, woman, I am the cavalry, and he has like the machine gun from a helicopter or something?
He walks across town with a minigun in hand faster than the car gets to the other location. The car, the woman, I am the cavalry scene happens. The people in the car he tells that to turn to drive off as he walks into the tunnel with a minigun, and he makes it to the location faster than the people in the car.
Well, maybe the people in the car, they had to get their like really roundabout way, okay? Everything was a one-way street going out.
He was walking.
But he's the cavalry, Michael. Come on.
The fucking one-liners with that guy are insane.
I also think this is so funny. And I don't think they do this for really anybody else to this extent. They make him so sweaty and like greased up in these movies to be like, oh, look at these muscles. Look at how well defined, you know? And they really only do it for The Rock. And I'm like, do you think The Rock asked for that? Or they were just like, no, we need to really show off the guns. More sweat on him, please.
Right.
Like, what was the decision making there? Because they only do it to him, and it's very funny to me. Is there no answer for my question? If this baby is
everybody's
able to be
like, this fucking makes no sense.
See, I knew I wasn't crazy. I was like, how the fuck did she pump out this kid? When and where?
The kid is about a year old.
In 8, yeah?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. At most, the kid is 1 year old.
So somewhere between, because Letty gets her memories back
Because the implication
in
would then
7, which means they would have been back together.
That's why I'm saying it could only happen between 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Because 5, Letty is not part of the group yet, again. And then in 6, he's with the policewoman. But then, throughout 6, that's when he refines Letty because she's part of Shaw's team, his goon squad. And they get back together. And then he's no longer with the cop lady. So he could have only conceived this baby either in between the end of 5 and 6. So what is that, like 2 years in between? And then, or at the very beginning of 6 would be the only time they could have conceived this child. Like in 8, when she's on that plane, I was like, damn, I forgot you even existed. Like, where did you come from? And I think, is 8 where we also are introduced to, what's her name? Charlize Theron, or is she in 7 too?
No, she's an 8. That's when she shows up.
That's what I thought. And they keep giving her these really bad haircuts, and it makes me mad. I'm like, why? She's so beautiful.
Yeah, they
Give her a better haircut.
They attempt to fix it by jumping the kid's age up.
Yeah, so in 8, it's like baby,
And the next time it's actually Vin Diesel's kid.
And then in 9, I think the kid is what,
functioning.
Like at least 7.
Yeah.
And then in 10, the kid is like 12 years old.
Yeah. Literally, it's always a plot hole. Because they try to fix it with aging him up, but it's also still a plot hole because the age doesn't make sense either.
I was going to say, you can't just age up just him. He doesn't exist in a vacuum.
Yep, it just doesn't make sense.
See, I knew it didn't make sense.
She would have had to have been pregnant before the events of 7.
Right.
Which was in 2014. In the end, however, elected to keep herself. The 8th installment was set in 2017, but according to the movie, Ellen and Dom's son couldn't be older than 1. In reality, young Brian would have to have been around the age of 3 or 4 based on the supposed conception in 2013. So, the only way it works is that Vin Diesel cheated on.
Because that's the implication.
Yeah.
That's the implication. And he would literally never.
Yeah. The only way it would make sense is that if he cheated.
And then if you think about
Or, hear me out,
okay,
they had an open threesome.
I doubt it. I feel like Letty's pretty
Yeah, but Letty knows that she loved him.
protective of her man.
I mean, yeah, but
mean,
but Letty knows that he loves her too.
No, I know. I know she understands that they had a relationship.
None of them would be into this. This is a bit, but like maybe.
But yes, Letty understood that they were together in her absence, and that relationship was valid because that's not his fault. She can't be mad at him after the fact.
Right.
Because he's like, I thought you were fucking dead.
Right.
You were gone. What did you want me to do?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
But I don't think she would turn around then, post getting her memories back, and be like, you know what? Me, you, and the cop, let's do it.
It's Fast and Furious, you know? I feel like that could be a very Fast and Furious move.
I guess, but I feel like Fast and Furious has never been
Vin
like...
Diesel would totally put a threesome in there, because why not? His character's hot and cool and invincible.
I don't know, because if you think about it, Brian and Mia committed relationship the entire timeline.
Yeah.
Dom and Letty committed relationship.
Well, not the entire timeline for Brian, because they break up.
They do, but for so brief.
Well, not brief. It's a few years.
Brief enough. I mean,
Brian probably slept with some other people. He tried to get with that girl.
he did try to get with Eva Mendes. You
Yeah.
were right. But I feel like in terms of being in a relationship, when they're confirmed in relationships, they've never strayed.
Oh, well, yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And the only people we don't see in a committed relationship is Tej, Tyrese, and Ramsey.
Right.
Because that's like that threesome I could see more happening.
No, she would never degrade herself.
I don't think she would ever be with Tyrese.
No.
She would pick Tej any day of the week
Absolutely.
over Tyrese. Because one, he's like on her same wavelength. They're
Yeah.
both geniuses.
100%.
There's no way.
Yeah. Unless she wants the stupidity.
But that's what I was going to say. Because Tyrese, he offers that more chiseled, himbo, brain off
Yeah.
vibe. So maybe she's like best of both worlds. So in that case, I could see a threesome, but I can't see a threesome between Letty, Dom, and the cop lady.
You've never seen the Fast Furious movies. Sure have. But just yes or no. Yes or no. Vin Diesel's character would he have a threesome? Would he write a threesome for himself?
Character? Vin Diesel?
Would Vin Diesel write in a threesome for his character?
Oh, yeah.
All right. We have
But I feel like if he didn't do
That's
it,
all. Thank you.
if he didn't do it in his younger years, where the threesome would make more sense,
Look.
why would he do it now?
Because there's no way that kid works if that's not the case.
We already know the kid does not make any sense.
Oh yeah, the kid doesn't make sense.
That kid
Especially
was
once they
in
then
utero
jumped his age.
for like 2 years.
Oh, you've never seen it.
What?
I was gonna make
Oh.
a reference to an anime.
Oh, sorry.
It would be spoilers.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only way that makes sense. But then it doesn't because then they jump his age up. So
Yeah. Which I remember when I was watching 9 being like, I don't remember this kid being this old in 8. What happened? And then he's even older in 10, which was even more jarring.
yeah, because they were like, we'll fix it by making the age make sense this time. But then it's like, well,
But then the timeline is completely fucked. But I
Yeah.
guess I shouldn't pay that much attention to the timeline.
yeah. Okay, so what was that for?
4 through 7. Or at least it was supposed to be, but then we started talking about the kid, which is
Yeah.
really more relevant to like 8, 9, and 10.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So 4 is the worst of the batch from 4 to 7,
I agree.
and then 5 is the one with the
Bank heist.
bank heist,
Uh-huh.
which is very fun. I don't think the physics of that heist make any sense
They don't,
at all,
but it is fun.
but it is fun.
Are you not entertained?
Also, the strength of those cables.
Holy shit.
Nothing breaks them.
The strength of those cars.
Well, yeah, but like the cables do.
Cables, I feel like the cables I could believe because they make industrial grade cables that are
But
meant
like
to
the
withstand
things
like
that happen to
well,
those
I know,
cables.
but I'm saying like they're meant
But
to
the fact
withstand.
that it doesn't rip the car apart when they hit a
But
concrete
the cars
barrier or something.
themselves, I am less willing to believe have that level of indestructibility.
Also, the fact that when they first pull it out and they make that first turn,
Oh.
it tumbles, which would twist the wires, and there's no way they untwisted those cables.
No, it tumbled in the other direction and naturally untwisted the wires. Come on,
Perfectly.
Michael, pay attention.
Of course.
Physics,
Yeah, of course. How can I be so silly?
opposite and equal reaction.
I think, yeah, I think 5 is very fun.
Yeah.
And I think it is possibly the best of like the team dynamic.
I agree with that too. 6 is a very close second for
But
me.
I think 6 has Han in it, which gives it that push above it.
Here's the thing. I think in terms of team dynamic, and just fun value, 5. But in terms of like everything culminating together, 6. You know what I mean? I feel like 6 also I like the like dune buggy, like very minimalistic cars that the villains have with like the magnets or whatever that's on them. I think those are cool. And then 7 is when we're in the Middle East. Yeah, they're in Dubai or Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
I just think 7 has or at least the locations, which I guess isn't fair to the other movies. Like, that's not their fault. But the locations are really beautiful in 7. Like, they have great, like, drone shots.
Oh, yeah. I agree. All right, hold on. I'm trying to pull up why my review on 7 for why I put it over 5.
Oh, 7 over 5. Interesting.
Yeah, that's why I'm.
Is it because of the Paul Walker tribute?
Probably. Also, I'm gonna be honest. Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention, but I didn't notice the scenes that weren't him, except for like 2.
So I think if I remember correctly, there's only a few scenes that aren't him.
Yeah, I know.
Because
yes,
he
that
had
is true.
filmed the majority of the movie already before he passed away.
Yeah, but there are scenes splattered throughout the movie that aren't him.
There are, yeah.
And I think the last shot is very clearly not him.
Where they're like splitting off in the cards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one, obvious.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't think I really noticed other times it wasn't him. But maybe that's just because I wasn't paying enough attention.
No, because I've watched this movie a few times before, and every time, outside of that final kind of montage with them racing and then they do the split off, outside of that, it is really hard to tell. I think they do a good job masking, and maybe it's because a lot of the shots are wide shots that they chose to do it for.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier as opposed to something that's like super close up, where blending that kind of, even at now, the technology isn't A1 yet.
Yeah.
But I think however they did do it, I think they did it in a smart way that it feels not so obvious.
Yeah.
Unlike what they did for Star Wars.
I would agree.
You know?
Okay, I know why.
Oh, okay.
I was reading
7 over 5?
Yeah, I was reading my review for why. 7 is the one with The Rock walking across town. Because my first comment is not The Rock walking across town with a minigun being a faster mode of travel than a souped-up streetcar.
Because doesn't he start that movie by like falling out of a building and landing on top of
Yeah,
a car?
he breaks his arm. And then he just breaks the cast and his arm's fine.
Yeah, he flexes it back to fully healed.
Yeah, sure does.
Flex so hard he broke his hard cast.
And then my review is like, I think my favorite absurd thing about these movies as they go on and the fights get bigger, the trained military special unit fighters somehow keep getting their asses kicked by street brawlers.
Yeah.
With the exception of Brian, because he was in the police and
he at least had some.
He at least had some training.
Aren't at least by 7 and maybe even 8, aren't they already being commissioned by the government?
7's the first one with that, isn't it?
So how do they get? Oh, it's because Shaw's brother is like hunting them in 6.
But even still, like they still like fight like street brawlers.
No, you're absolutely
and
right.
they still somehow kick all of these special military units' asses.
Which is the one where I think it's Han and Tyrese get their fucking asses handed to them? Is that in 7?
That is in.
Or is that 6?
No, that one is
They're in like the. I think they're in the subway.
That might
London.
be 7. It might be 7.
I think it's 6 because Letty fights Gina Carano. And she was part of Shaw's crew, which is in 6.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
And then in 7, she fights Ronda Rousey.
Yep. No, yeah, so it's 6.
As like this
They just
billionaire
get their asses handed
souped
to
up.
them.
Letty holds her own.
Yeah,
she does good.
Yes, I agree. But so the reason why 7 is higher is because it is the best fight choreography.
I would agree with that.
Where 5 is terrible.
Horrible.
Terrible fight choreography.
I would agree with that.
And so I think the story of 5, 6, and 7 are all kind of equivalent to me. With 5, I think it's fun. 6, I think is the most fun because of Han. And then 7, I think it's better than 5 just because it's the same amount of enjoyment, but now the fight scenes are better.
You just feel like it's a more elevated experience.
Because the fight scenes are better, which is purely a me thing.
Yeah.
I totally understand that. Because I am very particular about fight scenes.
I feel like I rate most of these movies, I usually don't factor in like any form of critical analysis
Yeah, again, that's
because-
purely a me
Yeah.
thing.
So for me, I just know that 5 is like the most fun, like turn my brain off, pure enjoyment,
Right.
like monkey brain energy. Followed by 6, followed by 7.
Yeah.
I do think those 3, in my opinion, like those are my top 3 for sure. And I would say, I feel like 4 is. I don't know. I don't know where I'll place 4. I think 5, 6, 7, 1, then 4.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, I could say mine. But I figured we were gonna get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Sorry.
I
was just trying to place in my
okay,
brain
so-
where 4 would be.
Yeah, that's why I put 7 a bit higher than 5.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because again, that's just purely a me thing.
Yeah.
Now for 8 through 10 and Shaw.
Yeah, plus Hobbs and Shaw.
8, 9, and 10 are pretty awful.
I would agree.
Hobbs and Shaw only not as awful because it's the best in terms of all of the stunt work.
I would agree with
Because
that.
it's made by the director of fucking John Wick.
I also think Hobbs
I
and
do think it is his worst movie though.
compared to like the John Wick
But
franchise.
compared to every other movie he's directed, I think it is his weakest movie.
Mm.
But it has the best action, which I can.
I appreciate that Hobbs and Shaw matches the franchise very well in terms of like visuals and writing and stuff. But I will say I actually do enjoy the dynamic between The Rock and Jason Statham. I think they are fun together. And I feel like Jason Statham, like, I don't know. I really like him in these movies. He's really fun.
I think he is very fun. The shit with him and the baby.
in 8
is
with the in the
awesome.
carrier, yeah.
And like he's like weirdly wholesome.
Yes.
And
He's a family-oriented man, Michael.
he is.
Come on now.
He really is. He keeps it all in the family.
And Helen Mirren
dynamic
is
with
his
the
mom.
And I love that she's just in it because she wants to do cool shit.
Oh my! Helen Mirren being in these movies, one was not on my bingo card, okay, but also is one of the funniest things. She's such a like esteemed, high acclaim actress, and she's like, "No, I just want to fuck around.
Yeah.
Like I just want to have fun."
Yeah, absolutely. And then she's driving fucking Dom around and doing shit.
She's driving like beautiful supercars,
Yeah.
decked out in like jewels. It's great.
Fantastic.
It's great.
But Hobbs and Shaw, I think it's the best part about it is Hobbs and Shaw's dynamic. I think they are
agree.
genuinely very funny.
Yeah, I like them a lot together.
Their dynamic is great. The downsides to that movie are I think the story's pretty boring. Ryan Reynolds is in that movie, and not that that's inherently a bad thing, but he's the most Ryan Reynolds he's ever Ryan Reynolds in his life.
I agree, but I also think Ryan Reynolds' brand of comedy does not work well in the scope of like the Fast and Furious franchise.
It doesn't fit.
It's too self-aware.
Yeah.
And Fast and Furious is like a little too monkey brain to be self-aware, if that makes sense.
Except for in 9, where Tyrese's only character trait is pointing out how absurd it is.
Yes, which is a whole host of other problems.
Which is why I think 9 is fucking garbage.
I think 9 is garbage for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, that's true.
I think 9 is worse than 10 now that because at least 10 we have Jason Momoa doing the most.
Yes.
Whereas 9 I feel like truly offers nothing because not even Charlize Theron, she's not even having fun in 9.
No.
Where at least in 8 she's kind of like hamming it up and like, you know,
And 9
pushing
is
it
just-
in their faces that she's so much stronger
9
than them.
is just a degree of absurd that is just too
That's
too
when we
reasonable,
meet
too
Jacob,
unreasonable.
right?
Yeah. He like the amount of shit, the fucking giant truck convoy whip that they do to take out the plane. The fact that that convoy is sliding down a road for 30 years, somehow friction is a non-existent thing to that. The fact that like the fucking island or whatever the fuck they're on is about to explode and the police are shooting at Dom's car and he like just slides.
And he sneezes.
Yeah, he slides into the fucking bridge holding thing
Yeah.
that gets on the wheel,
Yeah.
whips them around. I'm like, that would have just ripped the wheel out of the fucking car.
No.
But no, all the way around,
Whee!
let's go at the perfect time and lets them land on the... Like, there's just so much absurdity in that movie.
Yeah.
And then you bring up Tyrese being like, how the fuck did I not die?
Yeah.
But they do it every fucking time, but in a way that still doesn't make any sense. He's in a room, and there's a wall of people around him with guns. He's just spraying and praying. Somehow all of them miss him. He walks out alive. Gets in that car that's like a tank that deals with the mines, and it does straight up crush him. And then all of a sudden, he's just behind it, and he walks out, and he's like,
I'm
then-
good.
yeah, and fucking Ramsey and Tej are like, how are you alive?
Yeah.
And he's like, he just keeps walking. Like,
I think that 9 takes it to a point of being unlikable, if that makes sense. Like, if 9 feels like it's telling me, the viewer, that I'm an idiot for buying it.
yeah.
Whereas 10, even though there's ridiculous shit happening, the scale of ridiculousness is much smaller.
Sure.
Well, in
doesn't
9, they
fi-
send a car, rocket, spaceship up to space, okay? You're not getting beyond that point.
Well, yeah, but to
unless
be fair,
they literally
that
start
was,
making jumps, like jump points in the galaxy.
that was the goal, like, forever, though.
I know,
was
but
to
you know,
get them to space.
but you know what I mean? 9 is where I think any movie franchise that starts in a grounded place and then eventually ends up in space, like the Friday the 13th movie, right? Jason goes to space.
Yeah.
Like, all logic has been lost.
Yes.
Like, no sense anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I feel like for me, 9, is so stupid.
It is.
It's
You're right.
infuriating.
It is actively telling you you're an idiot.
Whereas
for
I feel
believing
like 10, yes, I know that a lot of stuff on screen is not realistic or real in any way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's at least presented to me in a way, and like pseudoscience in a way where I'm like, sure.
it. They do a fucking car rocket jump in that movie. But like, I don't know. I think that movie is just has the leg over it also because it's like more fun. John
Yeah.
Cena is very fun in that movie with his nephew.
He's way more fun as part of the team than like this brooding, like trying to get revenge on Dom because he thinks he killed his dad, and I'm like,
Yeah.
like the whole backstory with
Well, he
the
doesn't
dad.
think he did.
You know what I mean. But the whole backstory with the dad and throwing the race and blah blah blah. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like, don't try to give me this serious emotional backstory now in movie 9.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like, come off it, and don't suddenly introduce
Another
another sibling.
That never was brought up before.
Like Mia and Dom, the siblings.
Yeah.
Was that not the whole point?
Yeah.
You know, you can't just suddenly be like, oh, surprise third brother. Get the fuck out of here.
Yep. Yeah. No, I agree. But I mean, technically they do the same thing with Shaw. They introduce the sister that The Rock is trying to fuck.
That's true, but I care less about that because they're just the villains. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I feel like Dom and Mia, they've been the main characters since the first movie.
Right.
And if you're not going to bring up anything about their family outside of the two of them for 8 movies, you can't, like, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it also has Idris Elba and Vanessa Kirby is fucking great. And so, like, there's a lot of, like, fun things.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, and Hobbs and Shaw. But it is also incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
And then, let's see. We already went through the problems with 8. It's just
Is
something.
in 8, it's just
8 is the one with the submarine, right?
yes, and they're in Russia, right?
Yeah.
Because she wants to like send off some nukes or some shit.
Yeah, because 8 is the one where fucking Tyrese is in a fucking Lambo.
Yeah,
on the
he
ice.
brings a Lambo to like the Siberian ice scape.
Yeah, sure fucking does.
And they're like, but honestly, like, I think that only one person had a reasonable car. One person had like a tank, which made sense for the landscape.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Rock's car was a big like truck with
Snow tire type thing. But
with tread on it.
Yeah. But didn't Dom, he brought his regular muscle car, didn't he?
Yeah, with snow
His
tires.
black Dodge.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
No, they're all fucking so dumb.
I will say, yes, the Lambo is definitely the worst option
Sure is.
of them all.
There's no way that Lambo would get any form of traction.
No, I can't even imagine that Lambo would even let you start driving.
It would just be like, nah, fam.
It would just be like, no, there's absolutely nothing for us to grip onto. This is a sheet of ice. We're not going anywhere.
It is lacking the gorilla grip.
Especially because if it is a Lambo, it probably has racing tires on it,
Oh yeah.
which have even less tread.
Yeah.
Almost none, in fact.
Almost none, in fact.
Like,
Oh yeah, literally, my first line of writing for 9 is, it's honestly insane how much impossible shit happens in this movie in the first 25 minutes. Like, it's insane. Roman is also dead so many times over in the first 20 minutes, and they just wave it off. Yeah. Movie's terrible.
yeah.
And now we have, and we were supposed to get 11 and 12. Then we went back to 11, and then back to 12, and then we're back to 11.
Is there supposed to be a Hobbs and Shaw 2?
Yes.
I feel like I saw that somewhere.
Yeah, there's supposed to be to like bridge the gap about what was happening with Shaw between movies.
Between like 8 and
10.
10?
Yeah. You know, because they had their whole feud, so he stopped showing up.
Oh, right.
But like, because he shows up at the end
Of 10.
In 10. Yeah, so it's bridging the gap about how he
Gotcha,
got
where
there.
he missed out.
Apparently, at least.
Gotcha.
So.
Are they still beefing? I guess not if
No,
he came
because
back.
he showed up. So
Yeah.
I mean, you know, they're both.
He said, make me extra sweaty in 11 or else.
Dude, him in 5. That man is sweating buckets. Like,
That's what I was trying to tell you earlier. This
Like-
man is sweating like uncontrollably.
like he
I get it. It's hot in Brazil, but damn.
he is just literally my intro for that review is, why is The Rock wet for the entire film? Was the movie too fast or too furious for him?
He is wet the entire movie.
He is like somebody just poured water on him
He's-
at every second.
He's that Key and Peele where he's just sweating so much. That gif of him.
Like he has the fucking condition where he sweats too much, and he had to go get that like surgery where they like laser the fucking pores shut.
That's what I was trying to tell you. And it's only The Rock that's like this. And
But only in 5.
he's just so sweaty. It's ridiculous.
All right. So should we give our full rating?
Sure.
Rankings.
We'll in order.
Yeah. Do you want to look at mine to know the names?
Yeah,
and
let me
stuff?
just see. Just to see.
All right.
Okay, so I would say for me, it's 5, 6, and 7. 1 for nostalgia. Followed by 4. Followed by 10. Followed by Hobbs and Shaw. And then Tokyo Drift. Then 9. Then Too Fast and Furious.
Okay. And then mine is Tokyo Drift, F6, F7, Hobbs and Shaw, F5, Fast and Furious 1, Fast and Furious 4, F8, F10, F9, Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is our Fast and Furious episode.
Yeah. I love Fast and Furious. I don't know if that was apparent because I kind of just shat on these movies for a while, but I do legitimately
They are
love
terrible.
these movies. They're so good. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
They sure exist. All right. Well, there's that. So thank you for joining us for this week's episode of the Vaguely Anime Podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave a review, follow. Check out Kat at CatTheMoonstar on Twitch. And you have 1 week to watch Fruits Basket Season 2 for our anime club next week. So get on that, and we'll see you guys next week for Anime Club.
Bye.
Bye.